Hey!
This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself. I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry, Jeremiah Jensen. Hold the phone. JJ out today. In steps Sly, my favorite fill-in host of all time. So, Sly Sylvester, you know him, of course, as Sly across all of the different platforms that we abuse you for. Sly that you come in and do. And the sunglasses are on.
Hey. You already know.
You got a brand.
I got like 5 pair.
You got a brand to fulfill.
I do. I got an extra pair in my bag in case I forget one time. Which is not likely because it's on my face as soon as I leave the house. But, you know, you always got to have your stunning shades, your sunglasses on you at all times. Got to be cool. Got to be invisible. Got to make it happen.
Look, this is what. And look, if you're tuning in on the YouTube channel, you'll see Sly's sunglasses. I tried it one time. Didn't work out. I tried the sunglasses one time.
I can't read my screen here.
I just looked like you know, I don't think it helped that it was those sunglasses that you put over other glasses,
Oh,
you know,
gosh.
like my grandpa used to wear. I don't think that helped. It didn't help the image. So, yeah.
And it's all about you living it, man. You living it.
Sly, I appreciate it on a Friday. And no better time to have Sly on, a guy who's played in conference championship games before on a NFL championship, conference championship weekend. The Super Bowl will be decided, at least the matchup of the Super Bowl will be decided this weekend, all thanks to what we're going to see this weekend. My Seahawks are in this thing. I don't want to overdo it with the Seahawk talk because I'm nervous about it. Because it's just like the Rams, they know this team.
Yeah.
And I don't care how good the defense is. Like, the Rams know how to play against that defense. I was looking forward to the Bears coming back and winning that game in overtime. I was cheering on the Bears like crazy. I did not want to see the Rams. So here we are, Rams, Seahawks, and then, of course, the Broncos with former Patriot Jarrett Stidham at the helm, just like we all wanted to see at the end of the season. So we'll talk about all those things and much more. Let's jump in right here. Let's kick off the program officially. Let's talk some college football, though, because the news, of course, officially broke this morning, and it was exactly what we thought was going to happen. You're going to get a college football playoff with only 12 teams. Let's kick off the program right here, and let's do it.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
And, of course, the conference championships that we all saw kind of end in the way that the college football playoff was shaken out. The SEC had 5 teams. You saw some teams get rejected. You saw some sneak in. One of those teams that snuck in ended up actually being into the national championship game because that's how it works. Of course, as soon as you complain about Miami getting in, they're going to make a run. And they did. I am really excited about what the future of college football looks like. But today I am not.
Yeah, I was going to say, you are?
I'm going to go full Mark Harlan here, but today I am not. There is no reason, except for the giant egos in the room, that the college football playoff should remain at 12 teams, and yet that's what we're going to get next year. The Big Ten and the SEC, who are apparently the only dogs in this fight, have decided that that's the way it's going to happen. And that's it. So I'm disappointed because I think that more football is better football. I think that the 12-team system is okay, but we saw it not work this year. We saw it kind of not work the year before, and those are the first 2 years of it. Right. So, Sly, how with the 16 teams being shot down, I don't know what to think about the whole thing. I get it. I get why they did it. I get that the that the SEC's like, I don't even want to have a conversation. So the tipping point was the Big Ten said, hey, we'll go to 16, but we need to open the door to the possibility of 24 in the future. And the SEC said, we're not going to move to 16 if you're
no.
We're okay with 16. We don't want there to even be a conversation about 24 in the future. We like the 5+11 model. We had 5 teams in it this year, and we're going to get 7 in if things are, or 8. Greg Sankey thinks 8 or 9 teams should get in every year from the SEC. And how'd that go for them? They still haven't gotten to the national championship game in the last 3 years. So I don't like it. I don't like that those are the two groups that are making this decision for everybody else in college football.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I just don't understand, like, why are we including everybody else if you guys have all the say? You know, whether we can do it or not depends on you guys. You guys got one more team. How many teams were the SEC having the 12-team playoff this year?
5. They had 5 in this year.
They had 5 of the 12 already, right? You're close to 50% of representation, and you still don't even make it to the national championship game in back-to-back years. And so it's kind of crazy, but you know it is what it is. Until for me, I think the only resolve here is we just beat the SEC. Well, we're not scheduling. We're not in charge of the schedules. Because I'm just like, how do all these other teams just continually beat the SEC so they don't even get into the top 12 or the top 16, right? And they schedule so easily that they're always guaranteed to always have X amount of teams in there. And so yeah, man, I don't know. There's just so much going on. It's chaos. It's pure chaos, and I think that's exactly what the NCAA wanted. They wanted chaos. They wanted controversy. They want us to sit here and talk and deliberate about this each and every month, every week of the year. This is where control, and this is where the NFL was going. When I was in, they're even more so now, is they want to be 365, right? and college football right now is it's close to 365. We're talking about this every single day, every single issue, from a transfer portal, a transfer kid, who's going to look like on this injury report, on this, who's this new coach coming in, who's this, and we're talking about it all the way up until training camp. From schedule releases to pro days and these kids getting 6-7 extra years, and the Duke quarterback who's getting a mega deal from Miami and also getting his sister an NIL deal in the process. And so it is becoming 365. And so that's exactly what I believe the NCAA wanted, was this controversy to drive that. And why not just extend it a couple years? Let's have no resolve and have you guys continue to argue, continue to debate, continue to talk about this for months to come.
I just want I want there to be an expansion. The reality is that a 2014 playoff would give the SEC a ton of teams in too. I don't know what their big beef is. Maybe it's like Napolis, who's like, stop with all the expansion, bro. Is that what Greg Sankey's doing? He just doesn't want.
It's just control.
It's too far. Because then we're going to want 32, and then we're going to want 48.
Well, here's my whole thing is, where does it stop? Where does it? That is the truth. But, like, what's the point of the top 25 if it doesn't even matter anyway?
Well, the top 25 is arguably not that important anyway.
It's
by
not.
By the time you
but
get
if
to
you
the
have a
college football
2014 playoff, it brings back some importance to that. But, like, if I'm not in the top 15 and have a chance at the top 12, what does it matter? Right. And so I just think that a lot of these schools probably feel that way, and having the control all be in the SEC and Big Ten, who are at the table and they just can't agree with one another. It just sucks. And you're going to have another year where this year you're going to have, there was 3 2-loss teams that went out from Notre Dame, Utah, BYU, was it Vanderbilt? Texas.
Vandy, I think, lost 3. Texas was 3 losses, but like those teams were all making the argument, like, yeah, but look who we lost to.
Right.
This is the SEC, man. And I get it. Those teams actually in the 16-team playoff would have probably been in. All 4. Look, what was the final CFP rankings before everything got kind of figured out? And so here's what it turned out to be. So if we're just going to go the straight 16, but minus number 16 and then add the group of 5, it's just one of those things where you're going to have 16 would be USC. It's a real shame to have to kick USC out of this thing. But they were 16, and you would have seen 2 Tulane elevated to that spot because they're the group of 6 champions. So it's the 5+11 model, and I'm not saying that would be it, but guess what? Notre Dame, BYU, Texas, Vanderbilt, Utah would all be in. So maybe it's because we have the recency bias thing where we say, no, that's what we want. We got to get these guys. We got to make sure that the little guy doesn't take over. Well, you have more SEC teams in there. There you go. But you're always going to have to include that group of 5 or group of 6 champion, whatever we're calling them now. I mean, I don't know why. I don't love it, but it is what it is because teams like USC, Arizona, and Michigan are all going to get left out because they're 16, 17, 18 going into that final week. Now, we don't know what the end of next year is going to look like. And I think because we had 2 teams here locally that we would have loved to see in college football playing.
Give them a shot. Give them an opportunity. That's what Miami had.
Yes.
Give them a shot.
And guess what? Texas would have won their first game probably in the first round. You know what I mean? Like, we poo-pooed them. Vandy was a 2-loss team, by the way. They ended up losing in their bowl game, but I don't think they really cared that much about it. Utah, Spencer Fano, and the Fanos would not have sat out of a college football playoff game. Am I wrong?
No.
And you would have had – and I bet Kyle Whittingham would have been coaching those college football playoff – or no, do you think –
Oh, yeah, he would have coached.
Well, you wouldn't have had the conversations about Michigan until
I don't think he would have. He probably wouldn't even announce that he was stepping down.
No, I know.
That would have been an internal thing, and when the timing was right to announce that publicly, they would have, because you don't want those distractions on your team. So, yeah, I think he would have coached throughout the CFP.
I don't know how many.
It's not Lane Kiffin.
No, and I don't know how many. I don't know how many teams next year. I don't know what teams we're going to be looking at, because what's great about college football right now is this could be we could have a total facelift of this top 16, top 17 next year. But that's why I think that the new version of college football is going to be. I call it the new version of college football because you have Indiana winning a national championship. If NIL wasn't what it is now, if we would have kept going in 2021 on the track, and we would have just pretended like the NIL stuff and all the player revenue thing, that wasn't a thing, where would we be? We would have the same old. And they might have an expansion to 12 teams in the college football playoff, but you're not going to ever see a team like Indiana making that happen in the way the world used to be in college football. Alabama and Texas and Oklahoma have all the money in the world, and they still haven't been able to turn it around to make it mean something. And they're scared to death that these other teams and these other conferences are showing up and are able to piece together a roster. And what's even more scary is not even with the most money, but they're able to piece together talent that they can work, and they can get them to a 5th and 6th year of eligibility, and they can make that team go all the way to win a national championship, even if you're the losingest team in the history of college football, or one of the. They're number 2 now.
Insane.
So, look, and then everybody gets their wish at Notre Dame. Texas gets their wish. I know that the SEC probably doesn't love the idea of Vanderbilt being like a mainstay, but it's still an SEC team. Mm-hmm. And the team that went the furthest from the SEC was Ole Miss this year, without a head coach. His bonus money, by the way, Lane Kiffin, I think, got to $1.1 million.
Because of the Ole Miss winning?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But LSU had to pay it. LSU had to pay his bonus money.
Which I don't think LSU had a problem with.
No, I mean, especially if you've got Miami, who's looking to spend maybe the most money I've ever seen spent on an athlete to try to get Darian Mansa to Miami from Duke. But there's a lot of legal hurdles to jump before that. But nothing that I don't know. Nothing that the money couldn't fix, right? I mean, if Miami shows up with a bag, then Duke will say, all right, fine. That's enough for us. That's fine. We don't want him anyway. He doesn't want to be here. Fine. And we're not going to lose any money. In fact, we'll make money on the deal. Great. You got to make a business decision with that.
Yeah, because, you're buying out the contract.
So the 16-team playoff to me just means, but I will say this. Until they fix how they do the 12-team playoff or the college football playoff in general, we're still hitching our wagon to these dumb bowl games that don't mean anything.
Right.
We need more games that mean something in the month of December, and we need to pull the rug out from underneath the world of bad bowls. And this was a way to kind of get down that road. You'd have had some bowls. It would have meant more. If you want to make the Pop-Tarts Bowl the People's Championship, heck, make it one of the preseason games. You know what I mean? Or not preseason. Make it one of the first round games for the college football playoff.
Right.
Come on. Be smart about it. Go about your business. Tell me that college football and the TV partners that you have wouldn't have been more excited to add USC, Utah, Texas, Vanderbilt. I'm saying BYU. But Notre Dame, you're leaving out USC, Texas, Notre Dame. You don't think that the powers that be at the networks don't want those three teams in that conversation? Of course they do. That's how big of the egos that were in this room. That they were able to say, you know what? Our TV partners, they want a bigger field. They want more games that they can sell. They want more, they want this thing to be worth more. But I don't want to negotiate with you. That's where they got with this. And it's a shame. I'm pissed about it because I would have loved to see, but until they fix how December looks in the college football playoff, then because all this is going to do is punt the national championship game to what's next week going to be? The 26th of January, the 27th of January, right?
Yeah, the problem is like this hurts nobody, right? This doesn't hurt them at all to delay and check it out. Yeah, they'll still get their 5-6 teams in the college football playoffs in the top 12 that they do before, but like, you know, at the end of the day, they're just like, you guys are the one vying for it, so what are you guys going to give up for it? So they're wanting other conferences, other teams to give up more to make this happen because it's no sweat off their back to deny this and extend this and continue the controversy, man. And that's why there's no leader. There's no continuum leader here where everybody has to answer to, and if there's a stalemate somewhere, who is making the decision on where to go with this, man? And so that's what sucks about this is you don't have somebody to create some resolve, have some answers for the people, these teams, these universities, and make it. But, you know, again, you know, this controversy sells. Controversy is what everybody wants. And right now they're trying to fight for that 365, that notion. They want to be recognized for 365 days a year. I want you to say the NCAA, say the SEC, say whatever the heck it is every single day of the year. Football, football, football of this program.
Get old Byrne out of there. Oh, who'd we have on this week? Was it Bill Bender from Sporting News goes, do you know what Alabama's record is over the last 2 years? And in my mind, I was like, yeah, like 20, probably 24-5. You know, they've lost a few games in there, man. 20-8. Alabama's lost 8 games in the last 2 years.
And all hell's
Nick
broken
Saban
loose.
and Miss Terry are turning over in their graves. They're still with us. But you know what I'm saying? Like that, it is like it's an embarrassment for some of these programs to be at the level that they're at and not being able to. This is like this crazy flailing effort by the SEC and the relevance of trying to be the most important conference out there while they're not the most important and the most powerful conference currently. And that's where they're at. They are scared to death that a team like BYU or a team like Utah gets elevated above teams in their conference.
Right.
Even like a second. Again, I don't even think that they love the idea of Ole Miss going as far as they did. Because to them, that doesn't feel like a powerhouse. You know what I mean? It's not the traditional power. If Missouri goes to the college football playoff, they're kind of like, the SEC team, yeah, it's good. I like the Tigers. I like what they're doing there at Mizzou.
But I want my Georgia.
Give me my Georgias.
Tennessee,
Give me Texas and Oklahoma even before those guys. That's what they're saying. Give me those big brands out there representing.
my Auburn.
Give me my Auburn. Oh my gosh.
Man,
it's a mess.
Crazy.
It's a dang mess, and it's not going to get fixed until
It's not.
So fix the schedule first, and how we can finish this football season by January 1. And we'll talk about that a little bit later because a guy put a schedule together on how this thing would work, and he kind of is running with what Joey McGuire from Texas Tech rolled in with. And I love the idea. Expand college football playoff, but you've also got to figure out how to get the schedule, one, to not butt heads with the NFL. Both sides want that. You do not want to compete with that. You cannot compete with that. And come on, let's all go into the transfer portal window and have a nice
same time.
Yeah, and have a nice bow on just like we used to have. January 1, January 2 at the most. That was it. That was the pinnacle of college football. Rose Bowl on January 1. Unless it's on a Sunday, then it's January 2. So I love the idea of getting it to that, but there are some things that we still haven't. Where they're changing so many other things in college football, but they are butting heads about the stupid bowl system and about how the college football playoff is going to be quote unquote ruined by adding a bunch of more teams. So they've got to figure some other things out. They got to figure out where bowls are going to fit because right now they don't, and the network's got to hate it. ESPN owns half these bowls, so they're probably okay with it.
Figure something out so we can play something, dang
Come on,
it.
man. All right. Let's take our first break. We'll come back. We've got more to go on a Friday edition of the program. We got our hot and cold coming up next. I've got a list of some Big 12 games that are going to shape the college football playoff race, the ones that mean the most to the conference. There's some names. There's some big names in there. So stay right here with us. More to go. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Your home for the best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on The Zone. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
You should listen to this with just one headphone on.
Yeah.
Because all you hear is you don't have the boom, boom, bam, 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 bam. You just get bom, 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 bom.
If you're not fist pumping right now.
Sly's theme music hitting hard today on a Friday.
Just makes you feel good. Let's go after it. Let's go have a good weekend.
It should be good.
Oh, yeah.
Seahawks, Rams, pit me and our producer Alex Napolis against one another. You know, since he's such an LA native himself. I get it. You root for who your parents root for. If dad roots for a team, isn't that what we're talking about? East LA, man. He grew up with the blue and yellow, man.
Eric Dickerson days.
Yeah, the first, or was it the second time in LA? Is this the third time they're in LA now?
Second time.
Just the second. All right, fine. I'm taking my shots here. Okay, by the way, in terms of like uniform game, the Rams have the best. They have the best uniform still in the playoffs. I'll stand by that.
All right, Phil Knight. That's great. Why would I give anybody else in the NFC West any better uniforms?
But see, here's what I'm saying is that the Rams have this blue and yellow that's sharp, and they have the horn helmet, which is great. I have to admit, the Seahawks.
Oh, hands down.
We're still searching. What I'm saying is, if they went back to the blue, the silver totem Seahawk, the
you
old
talking
school,
about Sean Alexander days?
Pre-Sean Alexander.
Oh.
I'm talking about Steve Largent. Give me the
Largent
royal
days.
blue. Give me like I said, the totem Seahawk, like the one that's like it's almost cartoon looking. That's a silver dome. You get that silver helmet with the sharp green and blue Seahawk on there. You have that touch of green in the come on. That would have been great. And they wore it a handful of times this year, but when they do the color rush and they look like highlighters, that's my team, but I hate it.
You hate it?
If they wear the fluorescent this weekend, I might die.
I love the colors. They don't do that for the playoffs, do
No,
they?
I don't think so. I think they have to be straight up in the playoffs. The rivalry jerseys, don't even talk to me about them because they're dumb and they look bad. Yeah. I don't get it. It's like a grayscale. They're like, let's do it in sepia. It should look really clean. Make it look like, hey,
I think if you
the
make
intern's
it to
colorblind. Let's get something for him so he doesn't feel left out. Get him all grayscale stuff. Come on.
If you make it a conference championship, I think the throwbacks would be awesome.
Yeah, you could. And
that
you're
would
at
be
your
a
home
throwback
place.
dream for your AFC championship.
Because look, you're at your home place. You should be able to decide. Because like when the Cowboys are playing at home, their home unis are whites.
Right.
And not every team's like that.
Right.
Because you guys were all black and yellow, right?
I'm telling you.
And then on the road, you're whites on top.
No.
What was it? Reverse?
It depended on the place that you went. Because I'm telling you, Tennessee, Tampa Bay, with my rookie year, I'm like, why are we wearing our black jerseys? Because we were hot.
Oh, yeah, because they want you to wear them. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Miami
That's
made
good.
us wear. Oh, yeah, that's definitely an advantage. They took advantage of that. I didn't understand that until like a fifth game. We're in Miami. I'm like, why are we wearing? It's hot. Why are we wearing black? Miami told us that that's what we have to wear. So,
Yeah,
and then in
I
December,
like it.
it's not like that because it's not as hot.
So if the Seahawks were to roll with the Royal Blues, they would make the Rams wear their whites, which is what they're going to have them wear anyway, I would assume. So, and then the Seahawks would win that uniform contest for the week. I love the silver helmet, man. It just feels like, although they were terrible when they wore those, so maybe not. I don't know. It's nice to see them win with those jerseys on sometimes. Okay. Hot and cold. We got a segment for you here. Our hot and cold segment brought to you by Croft Fireplace. Upgrade today with free basic installation on qualifying purchases. Croft Fireplace, where warmth becomes home. Appreciate them coming on board, being our newest member of the KSL Sports family, Croft Fireplace. All right, so here are the biggest games. Here are the biggest games across the Big 12 this year. And there are going to be some teams that are going to go cold this year. And I think one of those teams.
That's what's so interesting.
you want to know which team? They already kind of started getting cold already. I think it's the Arizona State Sun Devils. And I feel bad because Kenny Dillingham, I like the dude. I like him in the Big 12. I like the attitude that he has. But right now they're reverting back to what they've always done. Win a conference championship and then start falling off. They lost 5 games this year. Hey, they beat Tech at Sun Devil Stadium this year. Great. But they lost 4 regular season games. They lost their bowl game. They went 8-5 after a season when they went 12-2 and went to the college football playoff and won the Big 12. I think that fall, especially with Sam Levitt going out of town. Did we figure out a quarterback for them yet, by the way?
For Arizona State?
Is there a Mendoza available somewhere in the country? Oh, good. The Kentucky quarterback. Okay. Well, now I feel better. I mean, I assume they throw the ball a lot at Kentucky, but they also lose a lot. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Arizona State's going to be. But one of the first games that they put on this list was Arizona State at Texas Tech. Now, if you steal a win at Texas A&M. They go to Texas A&M. They go College Station in week 2. And if Arizona State goes in and steals a win at College Station, that shapes the college football playoff because Texas A&M will have a loss hung around their neck real early. I don't think that Arizona State's going to be in the conversation for a college football playoff because I think the conference schedule will see them lose probably 3 games. But, oh, did you see this too? So Arizona State has to play their first game in London. I think that's a cursed game, man.
I'm in
remember
London.
Remember when Kansas State and
Iowa State.
Kansas State and Iowa State played last year? It was a disaster of a weather game. It was ugly. There was a fight between family members.
Avery Johnson's.
K-State never recovered the rest of the year, right?
Right.
And Iowa State had a nice start.
The first good 3 weeks. But,
it was I think they were undefeated through 7 games.
They were a blunder after that.
And then they started to struggle.
And now their whole team just transferred to Penn State.
That is so weird. I mean, it's not, I know why it happened, but I mean, it's 38 guys who went from Ames, Iowa.
Not just 8.
38 plus almost the entire coaching staff. So
that's a 2-deep roster.
Now, this is an interesting one because I think Kansas State, they're going to have Colin Klein come in as their head coach this year. We'll see how he does. But Houston is a real outlier because they had a 10-win season, and we forget about it, and they ended ranked in the top 25. That might be the best job that Willie Fritz has done his entire career.
Right.
I mean, amazing to win 10 games in Houston. And we forgot about it because there were 4 10-win teams in the Big 12 last year. And so you looked at them and went, yeah, but they're not as good as Utah. They're not as good as BYU. They're definitely not as good as Texas Tech. We'll put them down here. It's still Houston, man. But I'm going to see how they do. They play Kansas State 3rd week of the season. Now, this is a big one. October 17th, Annapolis, you were right. October 17th is when BYU hosts Notre Dame.
But the key part about that is where?
It's in Provo. They're hosting them. Do you think that's a big deal? It's one of the only times Notre Dame's going to have to hit the road.
I think that's a big deal.
The last time they were at LaVell Edwards Stadium, I was a student at BYU, and I watched them get the absolute doors blown off of them. I remember that year it was like USC and Notre Dame both came in. And I mean, that was Thunder and Lightning era. Matt Leinart, was handed the ball off to Reggie Bush and to, what's his name? Rondell White? Who was it?
Lindell.
Or Lindell White? Yes. Okay. That was the Thunder and Lightning combo, right? And I think that, I mean, if you're looking at, so the Notre Dame series, they've only played 7 times, and BYU's 2-5 all time. Yes, here it is. It was close in 2004, actually, 20-17. They went to South Bend the next year, and they lost 56-23. But I've seen Notre Dame come into that stadium, and obviously the 2 times that they've lost to BYU, the 2 times that, BYU won that game in 2004, and they won the game in 1994. That one was the one where that was one that you see pictures around the stadium. They have that game up. So the 2 times they've played BYU at Provo, they've lost.
And that's why I say that's the most interesting fact, is because I've played at LaVell Edwards Stadium, and I know it's not easy. That is a dangerous territory for opponents to go into. There's just so much going into it, and now they got all kinds of stuff going on at LaVell Edwards Stadium. It is extremely difficult to play in. And for me, why I say it's important is because essentially Notre Dame's, 3 losses, and they're not in the – like we looked at their schedule, and they got a pretty cake schedule going ahead. But if they slip up twice, right, they play Miami again. So if Miami beats them, BYU beats them, and they slip up another time, they're not making the playoffs. But so that's why I'm just like, they're risking going to Provo. That's huge for me, and I'm excited to see that one.
Well,
it's going to be interesting.
Flip the coin on the other side for BYU, who have to come to Rice-Eccles Stadium and play Utah on the
dang right they do.
On the 7th of November, and that game has more playoff implications to them than any of these games I think that we've mentioned, because those are 2 teams who, if they get on a roll, if BYU can run it back like they had last year, if Morgan Scalley can find a spark and keep Devin Dampier healthy, and he becomes the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, has that type of a season, he could take Utah to crazy heights. And Utah could spoil BYU going as far as they want to go. And BYU could solidify themselves. I was actually looking, Annapolis, this is phenomenal stuff. I was looking at my notes, okay? And I was like, I got to bring this up to Annapolis. I went through and I looked at some of our predictions, and I have it down. The actual date, July 25th of this year. So we already knew about Retzlaff, okay? And we made some predictions. Some of them are awful. You ready for this? Big 12 or ACC end up with 3 teams in the college football playoff. That didn't happen.
It was close for Big 12.
They had 1, so they didn't get 3.
I know, but they could.
They
that
could
was close.
have. Yeah.
Utah, BYU could have made it.
Here are the other ones I said. Utah and BYU both finished top 4 in the Big 12. That happened.
Yeah.
These were supposed to be wild predictions, by the way, because at that point, BYU was only supposed to win like 7.5 games, according to Vegas, right? Both Utah and BYU ranked when they play each other on the 18th of October. Boom. Did it. Bryson Barnes, first team All Mountain West. Was that? No? He had a good year, but not that good of a year. BYU starts 1 quarterback all season long.
Yeah.
It happened.
That happened.
Can you freak it? And it was a true freshman. Can you believe that? Devin Dampier, 65% passing percentage. Did we get there?
I
think so. That was the requisite, was like, and that was what was crazy, is that because he was like 52% or 49%.
63.5.
63. Ooh. I was close.
Yeah.
And he was too. Utah with a 1,000-yard wide receiver. How'd that go?
Oh.
BYU with 1,000.
Hey, Davis had 725. He got injured the last 3 games.
He could have been there.
He could have been there.
And then BYU with a 1,000-yard rusher. It says 2,000? I only have 1,000 in my notes.
Yeah.
I think you wrote it down wrong. There's no way we would have said a 2,000. Wait, a 2,000-yard rusher? Or receiver.
That's not possible.
Boy, I don't know what I was smoking that day. My heavens.
Them tweeds.
And then the final one for the Big 12 that's going to have a college football playoff implication is Texas Tech versus TCU. It all depends on how good TCU is going to be. I think Texas Tech is going to be there.
TCU took a hit because Hoover's now in Indiana?
Yes, he's at Indiana trying to run it back. My goodness. What a fun place to sign up to. I don't know if I'd want to play for Signetti, though.
Why not?
Just looks like a guy. That,
No, he looks like a character.
he looks like a guy.
I've listened to a
hang
couple
out.
of interviews. I was like, he sounds cool. And like, no, he does. He sounds like he don't take no crap. We go in, we do our work, and we go home.
Yeah, there's something to that.
I
Yeah,
bet
yeah.
he has the weirdest jokes. I bet he's not funny, but you're just funny because he thinks he's funny, and you're just like, this guy.
Yeah. It's like when your pastor makes a few jokes and you go, he's not really funny. He's funny because he's saying it at church.
Yeah, exactly.
Coach said some funny stuff only because I can't tell what his brain is actually thinking right now.
And all the players, though, you know, you see
Yeah.
all their interviews throughout the college football
They're dialed
playoffs.
in, man.
They're dialed in. They like him. They're having fun. They all have fun. They all do their Signetti face, and it's not like like they're worried about it getting back to him or anything. So, I mean, I think he runs a nice little program around there, man. The coaches, the players, they all like being there.
A 2,000-yard wide receiver.
Yeah, I don't know what the
I
heck that
think
was.
I didn't because in my notes it says 1.
Like, bro.
I think you misheard. Even my stupidity doesn't
What
go
date
that
did
far.
you make those notes?
July 25th.
So that was just before the season started.
I don't find the podcast because you'll probably hear me and if I'm slurring words, and I think we know what was going on that day.
Yeah, a little tequila in the afternoon.
I don't typically partake at all. I don't know what's in this Crystal Light, man. Maybe it got loose that day. Maybe Crystal Light had a new flavor, and I dipped in. I didn't know about it. All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We've got a Would You Rather around the corner, so stay right here with us. 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.
Listen, everybody. Real life hypotheticals to get your brain churning. As JJ and Alex ask, would you rather?
I'm looking at the betting odds for this weekend. The prop bet that is actually really embarrassing if you're Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah.
They have him. Did you, Napolis? Look at this. They have him throwing a half a touchdown. So you take the over or the under.
I'd take the over on that.
So, I mean, it's pretty. But I would hate to see a 0.5 touchdowns next to my name for an over-under going into a conference championship game.
Honestly, it doesn't because it's very easy for you to win that over, right? You can exceed those expectations extremely easy. And so if I'm Stidham, I'm just like, all right, whatever. Nobody believes in me. Watch me go out there and do that.
And they have Drake May passing for the over-under for him is 225.5 on passing yards. And so they have him having I think Vegas thinks he's going to have a good day. But Jarrett Stidham is 0.5 touchdowns. Yeah, that's maybe that's an easy one for you to take. I don't know. I've got a quick would you
still
rather.
got Frank Crum on the roster, man. You know, just throw a little out route to him. He's gonna get it done.
I've got a would you rather. Now, luckily, you don't have to imagine this like for real but you've won an AFC championship.
Mm-hmm.
You also went undefeated and went and beat Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. You have to give one of them back. Which one is it?
What?
You got to give one of them back.
That's the would you rather?
Yes.
This sucks.
You got to choose your baby here.
Oh man.
Because I would imagine you'd be able to remember very vividly both of those games.
I remember everything.
Very, very vividly, especially the end.
everything.
Yes.
You got to give one of them back. I just hate it because the AFC Championship game is what led to it, right? I'll go in a Super Bowl, right? I have to give one of those back. Ugh. Oh, I mean, for me, it's got to be the AFC Championship. I got to get that back, but that's stupid.
Then you're not going to your one Super Bowl.
I
man.
know.
Get that experience.
But the Sugar Bowl was elite.
And you got enough people from Utah probably that are listening right now. You got to make the right decision, and
I
you got to be.
I don't care for that.
You gotta pander.
Hate me if you want. I don't care. I lived it. No, the Sugar Bowl was just absolutely terrific, and just what it does for me to even look back on it from the days leading up to the game, practicing, the interviews, the food, the whole red carpet treatment from Sugar Bowl was just outstanding.
Yeah, but you're saying all that stuff in the Super Bowl. Actually, that's what they do best is all the media stuff running up to it.
The
and the
Super Bowl,
food.
Super Bowl was actually overwhelming. And
It's too much.
It was too much, and it
was all
wasn't that
commercial.
fun.
It was all
Because
yeah.
we were in Dallas, it lightly snowed, and nobody knew how to handle it, and so everything was shut down. So like that week wasn't as great as being in New Orleans for 8 days. And so in Jerry's world, there was just a lot going on in the Super Bowl to where you didn't really enjoy it that much because you're like, I'm preparing for the game, but they got all these spectacle stuff. You got Snoop Dogg, big Steelers fan, walking around, and everybody's just taking the attention. All these other Steelers fans that you never knew were Steelers fans are now Steelers fans, plus all the Steelers fans in the lobby. You can't walk anywhere. It just wasn't that. It was just distracting to where it's just like, this is just too much. I can't really soak this all in. As far as the Sugar Bowl, nobody thought we were going to win anyway. So like nobody's really talking about it. So we were down after we get done with meetings and practice. We're on Bourbon Street, going to the Cowboy Bar and then AC Deuces. Man, yeah, man, it was good memories.
All right, so there you go.
Yeah,
that's a
Sugar Bowl.
You had to really convince yourself too.
You really do because you have to think about it.
I got it.
You had to think about it.
Oh, I got the breaking news sounder in my ears. You know what that means? I got something to share with you.
Uh-oh.
Speaking of people not being able to handle a little bit of snow or some ice, the Nashville-Utah Mammoth game for tomorrow has been moved up 2 hours.
Ooh.
They're going to an 11:30 puck drop. That's a 10:30 a.m. game for the Utah Mammoth, man. So I don't know if it's going to make a difference. I don't think that would make a difference. I think they'll show up either way.
Get up a little, yeah.
And they're probably already there.
Yeah, you
so.
normally have practices earlier than that.
I love watching the South prepare for storms. It's always so fun to see. Like
it's not because it's just like, yo, bro, figure it out. Like you've seen movies. You've seen the stuff where people have handled this. How do you not know?
I know.
Like, how are you scrambling? Yeah. So
listen, I did some time in Texas when I was a kid, and so I appreciated when there was a little bit of ice or a little bit of snow because they were canceling school left and right,
yeah.
and you were waiting. You were watching the TV and waiting for
shut down,
and you're waiting for the scroll at the bottom because they put all the different school districts that are canceled, and you'd see the scroll at the bottom, and you'd wait for it to get to your school district. You're like, yes.
I get the
Didn't happen very often, but man. All right. By the way, Win Ticket Wednesday on the Carousel Sports Zone next week is going to feature this one. How about tickets to see the Pro Bull Riders Unleash the Beast tour stopping at Delta Center on February 6th? Get those tickets today at SeatGeek.com or just listen all Wednesday for a Win Ticket Wednesday chance to win those tickets. Speaking of winning some stuff, we've got a KSL keyword to give out at the end of when are we going to do it? 5 o'clock hour? If you've been listening, and is this a 5-pack ticket to a Jazz game? Well, there you go. You could win a 5-pack of tickets to a Utah Jazz game just by entering that keyword. So I'm going to give that keyword out in the 5 o'clock hour. You punch it up at KSLSports.com/contest, and you give yourself a chance to win those 5 tickets to an upcoming Jazz game. No. Ineligible. Boom. Can't do it. Watch Sly punches it in.
Love the way my stunner shades at the Jazz game.
Man. All right. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. Nick Bromberg writes for Yahoo Sports, covers college football. We'll get the full breakdown. Actually, Yahoo Sports was the first report I saw of it today when they were like, it's not happening. College football field's going to stay at 12. We'll talk to Nick next. We will talk some college football. Stay here, 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.
Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
Wow. This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 KSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry here. Jeremiah Jensen out of town today. Enter Stevenson Sylvester. No better weekend than to have a guy who played in an AFC Championship game and won one for the Steelers. And what are the Steelers going to do with Aaron Rodgers, brother?
I mean, he's gone. You can do with Aaron Rodgers.
You're going to run it back?
No.
What?
Mark McCarthy? No.
Got to run it back.
No.
All right, fine.
He's done, man. The only reason Rodgers was there was because of Tomlin. Tomlin's gone now.
Yeah, the reports were that Aaron Rodgers cried.
Hey, yo.
He's got feelings.
We got...
He's got feelings,
Now
man.
we need some ayahuasca. We got Mason Rudolph, man. You know,
Oh, yeah, he should be good.
That's the future right
Should
there.
be good. Yeah, he's been hit over the head with a helmet a couple of times. He's fine. Joining us on the program right now, Nick Bromberg. He writes for Yahoo Sports, covers college football. We've got a lot to get to, so let's kick it off right here with the cut.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, Nick Bromberg joining us, college football writer for Yahoo Sports. Nick, we knew it was going to happen. We knew it was being talked about, but not really, because we had already heard tale that this thing was going to go nowhere. We're not surprised by the 12-team playoff staying at 12 teams. Is this better for the sport of college football that they wait this thing out and wait to expand it at all?
Absolutely. We're 2 years into this. And also, too, we're staying at 12 here. And I want to tell people that, we are talking on January 23rd, 2026. On January 23rd, 2027, we are still going to be 2 days away from the title game.
I mean, just put them on the same weekend as the Super Bowl. No, make it that gap week. You got to make it that gap week with the Super Bowl, because then we solve all of our issues. We don't have to watch a stupid Pro Bowl.
Exactly. It's like at this point, it's like just keep pushing it back. I think they are victims of the calendar in this instance, because New Year's Day, you've got to have the quarterfinals on New Year's Day, and that's Friday this year. And so if you played the semifinals like you did this year, you'd have at least one team going on short rest. So I think it's going to end up being like the semifinals of 14th and 15th. So it's going to be like 2 weeks between the quarterfinals and the semifinals, and like 10 days from the semifinals to the national championship game with staying at 12. But they have to stay at 12. If you want to expand to 16, that feels like the lesser of two evils. I don't understand the Big Ten's push at all here to go to 24, because you are the conference that is dominating the 12-team playoff right now. You have three national title winners in a row, the last 4-team playoff and the first 2 12-team playoffs, and you have gotten 4 of the 8 semifinal spots in the first 2 years of the 12-team playoff. Why are you pushing to expand this to 24 teams? Like, I'm sorry, we don't need to see Illinois, Washington, and Iowa in the college football playoff.
I mean, I feel you on that, but do you think it's more? I think this is game planned. I'm just just stretching this out. Everything. I agree with you. The Big Ten is definitely dominating, but I think they have the conference with the most teams in it. What do they got? 16, 18 teams.
Yeah, 18. Yeah.
And so it's just I have more opportunities to get more and more people in, because it's not just we've won. But I want more representation, just like the SEC. They had five, 6 teams in the 12-team playoffs here. But is this more game planned from these guys to create these controversies? Just have this talk back to back to back. They just want it to be this chaotic.
The SEC, I think everybody wants to expand. They just don't know how to do it. And that's that's where we are in college sports right now, is everybody has, ideas that sound great in theory. There's just no way in actual practicality for somebody to come together and have a consensus, And the sticking point here, too, is the conference championship games. Those are SEC started, everybody else followed. Those are cash cows. And if you're going to expand the playoff to 16 or even 24, let's just say 16 to make it simple, you probably got to consider getting rid of these conference championship games, because you're then opening up a weekend where you could potentially play Army Navy that weekend. And then, you start everything there. I'm not going to get into that whole controversy. Or do you move up the season to week 0? Do you even have to do both? Start in week 0, what is now week 0, so basically the weekend before Labor Day. And that makes it week 1. Do you kill off the conference championship game, and then do you start the first round of the college football playoff after Thanksgiving? I think, there's a lot of scenarios out there, but ultimately I do think there has to be some sort of understanding with all of the conferences that conference championship games are going to become irrelevant if and when the playoff expands.
One of the things that fascinates me on this is that apparently the SEC and Greg Sankey are like, hey, we're okay to expand to 16, like you said. Everybody's okay with the expansion part, but we don't want there to be a going wild version of this, which is the Big Ten wanted the possibility in the future to consider a 24-team playoff. What is the SEC's big draw to not want a 24-team playoff into the future? because obviously it would benefit a conference like the SEC.
It would, and I also think too. There's the automatic qualifier stickler because in the Big Ten, we're going back to even going to their ideas for 12 and 16. Is they wanted these automatic qualifier spots. We're guaranteed, no matter what, you're guaranteeing the Big Ten and the SEC. Maybe let's just say 4 college football playoff spots. There's been so many iterations thrown around, but also too, I think the SEC, they look at it from the strength of schedule argument and saying, look, we have strength of schedule. We're playing. The other thing now is you're playing basically everybody once every 2 years. Start going forward with going to 9 games. And, you guys mentioned the Big Ten having 18 teams. I personally think that plays into the Big Ten's favor. Right. Because with more teams, you have less opportunity to play the good teams in your conference. Because of all the playoff teams, all the Big Ten teams that made the playoff this year, they played each other. Those are 4 teams: Indiana, Oregon, Ohio State, and oh my gosh, why is my brain so fried? It's the end of the season. I'm sorry, I included Michigan in this too. The top 4 teams in the Big Ten, they play each other a grand total of 5 times. You have a lack of marquee games, which then ultimately the SEC just kicks the Big Ten's butt when it comes to TV ratings in the regular season. But then the trade-off for the Big Ten is, hey, look, we had Indiana, Oregon, and Ohio State, 3 of the top 5 seeds in the college football playoff.
Man, this is just
Sly. He's so disappointed in college football.
Because I'm just like, this is so stupid, right? We already talk about how soft these schedules are, right? Nobody plays anybody. Let's make it interesting. The top teams play the top teams, and that way we don't have the issue of who should be in and out at the end of the year, right? Because you're just like, oh, this guy played Abilene Christian in week 2, and it's
that's
just
a
dumb.
Notre Dame reference that you just
Yes,
did there.
Yes, I did. We were talking about that. but
don't get me started on Texas' fit about playing Ohio State in week 1 and losing that game. Do not get me started.
They make an argument for a loss. It's great.
It.
But what about these G5, G6 teams, right? What about that component to this, right? Expanding the playoffs, do they put a seat at the table to get more teams into the mix?
That's the problem is you're not going to end up doing this. And also, too, with the whole idea of strength of schedule, these teams – sorry, my dog's going crazy. UPS man's here. These teams are now – James Madison dealt with this. James Madison gets in the playoff. Their best game all season long from a strength of schedule standpoint was a 14-point loss to Louisville. And it's going to set up a situation where now with the ACC going to 9 games, the Big Ten going to 9 – or the SC going to 9 games – they are losing the opportunities to play these bigger conferences, these schools from bigger conferences, and potentially get a big win. These, because power conferences now have the requirement you have to play another Power 5 school. There's 10, and then you got 2 more games. Sorry about that. You got 2 more games that they're going to schedule. One FCS opponent if you're in the SEC. Then you're going to schedule probably a lower tier Sun Belt or MAC team to fill out your schedule. So that really leaves teams like JMU in a bind, and we haven't even gotten to the whole point where. Think of how many people followed Kurt Signetti from James Madison to Indiana. How many people are following Bob Chudney from James Madison to UCLA? It goes on and on where it's just the simple economics of everything of these Power 5, these Power 4 schools can pay more than the Group of 5 schools.
Let's lean into this. What's your dog's name?
We got 3 of them. We got Penny, Stout, and Florence.
And they're miniature dachshunds. Is that what you said?
No, they're all over 50 pounds, except for the puppy.
Listen, if the UPS man shows up and they're barking, they're good dogs because they're
exactly right.
They're defending you, man. Like they're looking out for you. So it might be loud for a radio interview. I don't mind it. They're defending you, man. That's your turf.
I just get mad at them when the treats and the food comes. It's like you are barking at the person that is bringing you.
Yeah, listen, this is Blue Chew here. Let's get it going. Let's figure this out. One of the things that I'm fascinated by is the idea of Indiana starting something now that other teams can follow in, not necessarily a blueprint because it wasn't like they bought their entire roster. We know that the conglomerate of talent that they had there was not even anywhere near the type of talent you saw on better rosters. So what is it that Indiana did better? Was it just the fact that they had a better coach? Because that seems like a tall ask that you just have a really good coach to get a team. I mean, you've got like a Hollywood story here, right? And maybe somebody will write this thing at some point. But what else did Indiana do that made it to where they could compete at this level? And is that opening the door for the other small schools who've never won a title before to at least get to that stage and give themselves a shot?
It's an oversimplification Curt Cignetti, I do think, is probably, he and Kirby Smart are the two best coaches in college football right now. And I think you can have the very strong argument now, especially in this new era, that Curt Cignetti is number one ahead of Kirby Smart right now. But it's oversimplification just to say, oh, this is all Curt Cignetti. They are fantastic. They have had great continuity with the staffs that he has had going back to James Madison. I think that is a huge deal because I think something that we really didn't talk about enough at the end of the Nick Saban era, and you got to give Nick Saban so much credit for doing this, is he had so much staff turnover year after year after year. You think of the offensive coordinators go to their new head coaching job, Dabo, Loxley, Kiffin, Sarkisian, you name it, you just go down the board. And so, but Cignetti's had the same guys with him. They are fantastic at identifying talent, but then also, too, it's not as simple as saying, well, Indiana had a bunch of money all of a sudden to spend, and they went out and got great transfers. I'm just going to throw out the two running backs, Hemby and Kalen Black. They weren't the most high-profile running back transfers. You know, how many casual college football fans had heard of either of those two players?
Right, there's a lot of players on that
roster
roster you say that for.
Exactly, but then you've got to mix it in with the guys who have signed with Indiana, stuck with Indiana. Omar Cooper almost transferred. He stayed there. Charlie Becker, the sophomore, going to be a phenomenal. What he did the second half of the season was unreal. His explosion at the second half of the season. Yeah. And so you've got guys in Dugway, you've got guys who are staying in Indiana who signed as high school recruits. So it's a mixture of both. And I do think we're going to be in the cycle now of, if you are let's say a mid to lower tier Power 4 team, you don't want your athletic director getting caught up in trying to find the next Curt Cignetti and thinking that you can replicate this, because I don't think this is something that is easily replicable.
Man, so all right, this Curt Cignetti situation is also interesting. I think it's one of the biggest narratives that are going on since the CFP happened, man. And so, I mean, my question goes to, can Bob Chesney be that? Can he be Curt Cignetti for UCLA, right? Like from that model, things you just talked about, identifying talent, Curt Cignetti, same staff, guys stick together. They just know each other. They know how to do that. Is that something? Because everybody's looking for the next Curt Cignetti, right? Tulane's coach went to Florida. Bob Chesney now from JMU's going to UCLA. What was the secret method for Cignetti, and do you think that these other coaches could produce that?
I do think Bob Chesney has a chance to get UCLA back in the middle of the pack at the Big Ten right away. I'm not going to sit there and say UCLA can win 10 games, but this is a UCLA team that just simply from an athletic department standpoint, if you can get the investment in NIL and resources and get the fan base excited about football again, you are going to you can get so many recruits. It may take a little longer than it did at Indiana, but I do have faith Chesney wins wherever he goes. Thing about Cignetti, you go look at him, he said, Google me. Right. He never had a losing season. That's why I was very bullish on them as soon as they hired him a year ago. And so I do think there is a case. I love Sumrall to Florida. What he has done, he's won 10 games every year at Troy and Tulane. I think he's going to make Florida, as long as the university isn't as dysfunctional as it has been over the past 10 years, if he can work his way out of that dysfunction, I think Florida can be a contender in the SEC again. You're right. It's fascinating, too, that we're now in a cycle, especially this cycle too, with so much coaching turnover. It was a lot of power for a group of 5 head coaches who got head coaching jobs, and it wasn't necessarily coordinators. You had people like Colin Klein going to Kansas State who went back home. Pete Golding stayed at Ole Miss, become the head. But it was more, we're going to go look for that head coach at a group of 5 school and see if he can replicate that success at the power conference school rather than finding the hot new offensive or defensive coordinator.
Speaking of the changes in college football coaching staffs, the state of Utah was absolutely run through with getting the clear. The entire Michigan staff is taking BYU and Utah coaches with them, and we knew that was going to happen if Kyle Whittingham was going to take that job. BYU's defensive coordinator Jay Hill goes. Gennaro Guilford, one of their defensive back coaches, also goes, and then you have, of course, a lot of the offensive staff, including an offensive line coach in Jim Harding that's been with Kyle Whittingham for a long, long time. Plus, of course, Jason Beck. What does Michigan do with that type of? And is it? I mean, obviously, it's an upgrade from the situation, but is that the type of deal that they make this happen and they feel they can go on and win a championship immediately with this type of a setup?
Yes, I think Michigan thinks it can. I'm not necessarily sure it can. But me back up. I think hiring Kyle, you guys have, I'm sure, beat this to death. I think hiring Kyle Whittingham was the best thing Michigan could have done.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And given the situation, absolutely. There was no better coach out there on the market, and I love what he has done with this, building his coaching staff, because that is a school that is set up for success. Now, you look at Michigan's schedule next year, and you look at the teams at the top of the Big Ten and what they're bringing back. Can Michigan crack that group right away? I don't think so, but is Michigan now better served and better positioned to win a national title than it was 3 weeks before the whole Sharon Moore situation even happened? I truly believe so, because I do love the idea of Beck working with Bryce Underwood. Michigan played the freshman quarterback tax with him last year. You saw some of the signs, and then you saw a lot of the times you're going, okay, this is a freshman kid. You know, he's still learning. I mean, we've seen what Beck can do with Dampier at both Utah and New Mexico. I think he could be really, really good, especially in 2027.
I mean, who would he potentially have issues with at Michigan? I mean, I'm intrigued, man. I think it's great. I think Indiana has done a terrific job there. I actually can't wait. I hope that Michigan-Indiana is a real matchup this next year. I think that's going to be awesome football. But, I mean, contenders are always just like, it's like Big Ten has got, like, 5 schools from, I would say Penn State's in that, but they're not in that mix anymore.
Maybe they are with Matt Campbell, though, now. We don't know. That
Iowa
State East, yeah. Oh my goodness, that's an interesting question though. The Big Ten's going to be.
Who's going to be those front
If
runners?
Michigan's good, then all the other teams that are good, it feels like they're all going to stay good.
Well, and we also, we got to talk about USC. Like at some point, either Lincoln Riley does it or he doesn't. And
right.
He's got the top-rated recruiting class coming in. And, of course, if USC loses 4 games again, you can say, well, these guys were just freshmen. But we're running out of time here. You can't be in a situation where you're USC and you are still just 9-4. I'm 5th, 6th in the Big Ten, and I'm just kind of on the periphery of the playoff conversation. That's not what Lincoln Riley was brought to Los Angeles to be. And Mayaba's coming back. They lose Mekhi Lemon, but they're still going to have a really, really good offense. It's a matter of, again, the thing we've talked about, I think, for the past 5 years, ever since Lincoln Riley got to USC, is can the defense actually be decent?
I mean, is the recruiting class, like the not top 10, top 5, whatever, top recruiting class, does that fervor actually go out the window now with this transfer portal crap? Like, because you get these freshmen, they come here, they're inexperienced, but then they all transfer out. So what the heck is the point of the top-rated recruiting class?
I think the top-rated recruiting class even puts more pressure on you right now, because you're right. You've got these 5-star kids now who I want not only, and I don't blame them, get your money. I want a big NIL deal to sign right away, or I want my immediate playing time, or otherwise I'm going to, someone's going to co-contact me because there are no rules when it comes to tampering. I'm going to be contacted by somewhere else, and I'm going to go find some playing time somewhere else. So it's now necessarily not building your team through high school in the recruiting class. It's building your team every single year in the transfer portal. And that goes into the whole discussion of we've got to get rid of the early signing period in December. We got to push it back to February like it's always been. Let it not get drowned out by bowl season. And then also let these high school kids have their moment where teams can fill out the roster with upperclassmen in January, and then you can sign your high school class in February.
Well, it's going to be phenomenal to watch this thing play out over the next few years. And Nick Bromberg, he covers college football for Yahoo Sports. Nick and Penny and company also today, the supporting cast for Nick. We appreciate it, Nick. Thanks for all your help, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. There you go. I know he was probably embarrassed by those dogs, but I loved them. It's a fun part of the show for me today.
I was just about to say, I was like, there's some
good
dog
doggies.
people. I was out there. Oh, look at the dog.
Oh, some good dogs over there. All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We've got more to go. We appreciate Nick Bromberg joining us. And we have some sound that we're going to play for you when we come back. This is...
Oh, it's great.
Wild and out in the transfer portal. It is absolutely crazy, the stuff that is going on. And Dabo Swinney at a press conference went full.
Oh, he was pissed.
Like CSI Miami on this thing and was like, I have in front of me details. And it's kind of some tea. You don't want to miss it. It's phenomenal. I love it. I wish that Clemson and Ole Miss would put each other on the schedule just based off of this. All right? Stay here. More to go. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The biggest
his name?
You're locked into JJ and Alex. With the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Sly sitting in for JJ today, who'll be back on Monday. Want to let you know, every week, of course, the KSL Sports Zone and Beehive Meals Hero of the Week. Go to KSLSports.com/contest and nominate a youth sports volunteer that's doing an awesome job in your neck of the woods. I don't care what sport it is. I don't care what role they play. If they're making an impact for those youth and they're making their sports experience better and not being one of those people that takes away from what the youth sports has become, honor those people who are the awesome community leaders when it comes to your youth sports. Go to KSLSports.com/contest, nominate that person, and we read those winners off every Thursday. We honor them. We throw their picture up on our social media platforms, and they get $250 to Beehive Meals, and we get to tell them how awesome they are because they deserve it. And they don't get recognition. That's why it's awesome. So Beehive Meals and the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week. Go to KSLSports.com/contest. Oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, Sly. Isn't that the old thing?
It's never been more evident.
And listen, sounds like somebody's trying real hard down in the deep south.
And you know that's not the only school they talking to like that.
Well, we've heard tale of some of the tampering, right? You heard Bronco joking on DJ and PK in that promo that Rams is like, yeah, some phantom hotline guys call up and tampering happens. Nobody talks about it. Nobody. You just, there's this kind of it's just like behind the scenes, kind of this nebulous way of doing it. Dabo Swinney got to a press conference in front of a microphone and absolutely went off. Who is he talking about? Brand new head coach of Ole Miss, and I think the interesting thing here that Pete Golding is going through is that his name is being dropped here. And you're going to see something happen with this. But here's Dabo Swinney going off about some investigating journalism he's been doing.
And Luke communicated to Jordan and to Ben Boulware that Pete texted him on Wednesday morning, the head coach at Ole Miss, when he was in his 8 a.m. class. And he said the text message said, "I know you're signed. What's the buyout?" And he also, Luke said that Coach Golding also texted him a picture of a $1 million contract. Luke also mentioned to Jordan and to Ben that Coach Golding had Trinidad Chambliss call him from his phone, and that Coach Golding was there continuing to talk on his phone to push him to re-enter the transfer portal. He also said that Jackson Dart had reached out and called him. This is obviously a crazy time. We turned everything in to the NCAA. And I'm just going to say this. This is like there's tampering and then there's blatant tampering. Tampering 101 is when you're talking to kids who aren't in the portal. Tampering 201 is when you've already negotiated the deal with the kids not in the portal. Tampering 301 is when you got a kid who's gone in the portal, signed somewhere, moved there, gone to classes, and you're texting them while they're in class. That's like a whole nother level of tampering. And it's total hypocrisy because all this is going on while they, on the other side, are trying to fight their defensive end from going in the portal. They have accused publicly others of tampering with their roster and their players while they are over here tampering.
I'm here for all this.
I am too, man.
I love the tattletaling.
It's snitching to the finest. I feel like Dabo came onto his press conference like Denzel on Training Day. He's like, "Y'all think y'all can do this to me? I'm putting cases on all you."
Don't say the rest of it. Napolis over there. Napolis over there with his hand hovering over that
Y'all
dump
making license plates at Pelican Bay after Dabo Swinney's done with you.
I'm telling you. It's pretty wild because you call a press conference.
Oh,
You call a press conference. This is not like, hey, talk about the transfer portal and how much success you've had, how excited you are for next year. He has called a press conference and goes, bring everybody here. Bring Craig. See if he's still around town. Bring him in. Let's get all the news stations around. I got something to say.
You, Alex, you too.
I love how he's reading it like it's an affidavit, too. At which point, the suspect did, in fact, reach out to a particular individual. You're like, dude, it's all cop talk. And at this particular time.
You know he's pissed, too, because he's shaking. You know when somebody's, like, really mad and they're just tapping their foot? That was Dabo.
Now, what's interesting is that what he said, too, was fascinating, too, where he goes, this is the same team who's been reaching out and calling people out for tampering.
And they're doing that themselves.
And they're doing it themselves. And it's almost like they go, well, yeah, because you know why? We got to compete, man.
Here's the thing, right? You're reading the comments. Everybody's just like, get over it. Everybody's doing it or whatever. But I'm just like, okay, where's the line? And why do we even have a tampering rule?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's just like, why don't I just go onto Clemson's campus and be like, yo, Luke Ferrelli, I want you to play with me. I got this contract here. I got money. I got more money than Clemson. What's up? Like, where's the line is I believe what Dabo's trying to get at here because it's just like, tampering, everybody's doing it, yada, yada, yada. I mean, we talked about it even within this state here. We got Keanu Tunavasa talking about somebody entering the portal, and the very next week he's in the portal going. It's like, there was no tampering there? Okay. And then it's all across the board. It is happening.
When these deals are done right at midnight on the first day of being able to come in, they sign it.
Where's the line?
Yeah.
I mean, we just talked about it with Celeste Moa.
Yeah.
Right? He's going to class here at Utah. Now all of a sudden he's in Michigan?
Right. And this was in Celeste Moa's case, he's right out of high school, right? Jumps in early, right?
Been at school all of a week.
But in the case of Luke Ferrelli, this is a guy who's already gone through the entire transfer process. He's already at Clemson after he was at Cal. Mm-hmm. And he's like, takes his backpack off. Sigh of relief after he moved across country. Hey, man, what's it going to take? What's it going to take to get you over here?
You come down south, boy. Come down south.
I love it. I mean, I hate it.
Yeah. But here's the thing, too.
The portal's
not entirely.
I think
I just learned that this morning.
I think what they're saying is, and maybe for them it's different because Justin Wilcox left. Maybe it's different. Maybe something's different for them. So they fired because Cal fired their coach, and so I don't know if that's an extra however many days. I'm not sure.
Out of Clemson.
Here's the thing.
I think this may have been prior to everything being totally done. So I think he's kind of telling a tale that happened a couple of weeks ago. They gathered up all their info. I don't think this happened this morning.
It might have. I'm telling you, I just learned this morning when I was up on campus. That there's
tampering with some guys. Is that what you're saying?
No, that there's a window that's open. But the guys that are signed after the 16th don't get to come until July, right? They don't get to be with the team in the spring.
Right.
But it's still open. Guys are still being signed right now that are still in the portal. So, no, it's not entirely closed, which is just, it's crazy. What are these rules? Who's implementing this stuff and who the heck respects them? What program, what association do you have and nobody respects your rules? It's money. I really want to know. We got to find out, how much money is flowing through NCAA football specifically since 2022.
Who's the guy that writes all the Southern, Pelican Brief and all this? Who's it that? Oh man, this could be a novel that is John Grisham. He wrote all those Southern, mysteries. And uncovering all the stuff. You go deep into the tampering situation in the SEC, you got yourself a novel there. All right. It's fascinating stuff. I love it. All right. I love it because it's great it's fun for us to be able to talk about it. I'll eat the popcorn all day long and watch other people going through this. And the more local you get, listen, it is a cutthroat sport.
Oh, yeah.
And people are like, it's kind of like AAA baseball. I'm like, no, AAA baseball barely pays guys.
Oh yeah.
This is
real money.
This is NFL level money, and
this is more than NFL level. You got what is it? Sorsby's getting signed for $5 million. And
wait till I tell
Shedeur Sanders' 4-year contract is $4 million.
Wait till I tell you. Also, a little bit later, what Miami is allegedly offered Darian Mensah to try to get him over to Miami from Duke.
Is it allegedly?
Even while he's being
Can we even say things are allegedly anymore? I think most things are factual. There's got to come from somewhere.
You know what? I'm going to go with it. It's totally true. Because Sly said,
I believe it.
Go ahead and run with it.
Hey, there's nothing out here. I'm getting surprised every day. I'm like, are you serious? Can it get any wilder? Boom. Another headline.
All right.
It's crazy.
We'll take a break. I've got a top 10 here for you around the corner. It's Super Bowl related.
Oh, I like
Super
that.
Bowl adjacent. So we'll get into it. More to go right here on a Friday here with you. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Your home for the best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on the Zone. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Top 10 coming up right here. Jake and Ben, by the way, they're going to be out and about on Monday, 10 to noon. That's where their show is every day. But they're going to be at the Titanic, the exhibition at the shops at Southtown. Step aboard history, walk through recreation, see real artifacts, and feel the legacy of Titanic, the exhibition. I'm one of those history nuts, man. And I just got done listening to a phenomenal podcast that had to deal with the Titanic. I think I'm going to go over there and try to sneak in right behind Jake and Ben. Whoop! I'll just be like, all right, Jake and Ben, yeah, no, yeah, I know them. Meow.
What was your favorite part about the Titanic?
What's actually really fascinating for me is just all the variety of people that were on board. Insane. Mm-hmm. Like some of the richest people on planet Earth and people who are just trying to make a new life over here. Pretty crazy. There was a full group of people who were emigrating to the United States from the Middle East, actually, on the Titanic. Never hear that story. It's really cool though. Like see how these. And then some family members, survived, and so then they came over. It's fascinating to me. But anyway, like I said, I'm a history guy. So, hey, top 10. I got top 10 for you. This one is this is right up your alley. All right. I was thinking about we got to do movies, got to do music. But this is a different one. It's the Super Bowl foods. The top 10 Super Bowl foods by weight consumed every year. This goes from last year, okay? So this is by weight. Foods by weight that are consumed.
Is cheese considered a food?
Cheese is considered a food, but you got to think bigger, though. You got to think along the lines of, you can't just say cheese because it's on top of,
right, that's what I mean. So it's like nacho cheese?
No.
Or
so it's okay. Just
queso.
Don't overthink it, okay?
Oh, I'm always overthinking. What do you mean? That's why I never get to 10 because I overthink it. What are you talking about?
All right. I've got all 10 of them in front of me here. By weight, the most consumed foods every Super Bowl. On your mark. Annapolis, are you going to participate? Get set. Go.
Ground beef. Is it Can we say ground beef or do we say burgers?
You could say burgers, yeah.
Burgers, wings.
Well, wings. Ding.
Wings, nacho cheese, lettuce.
You're
chips.
thinking of
You got to do Tostitos chips.
Ding.
What else? What else do I love? Pizza. I love
Ding.
pizza. I'm just going with stuff that I love here. What else do people?
Annapolis, I thought you said you were going to participate.
I don't know, mac and cheese.
It's not Thanksgiving.
What Super Bowl parties have you guys been to?
What are you talking about, buddy?
Yes.
It's straight crap. Goes in here. Celery. Everybody has to bring a veggie plate, right? You got to bring a veggie plate.
That is so dumb right now. This timer's really getting to you guys, man.
It is. Taquitos. Mozzarella sticks. What is all that?
Oh my gosh.
Come on now. I see. Yeah,
When you said celery,
Uncrustables.
Celery because it's next to Uncrustables. Celery because it's next to the wings. All right, by weight. You ready for this? This is in millions of pounds, by the way. The number one by far is chicken wings. 162 million pounds.
162?
162 million pounds of wings consumed. That is from 1.4 billion wings. Okay? That's for every man, woman, and child in the United States, like 5 wings or 4 wings or something like that.
I devour it.
Listen to this.
Myself.
Listen to this. Guacamole
Guac? That's extra.
and or avocados, like because it's the second most consumed by weight. It's a hefty item. But 139 million pounds of avocados and guacamole eaten.
Wow.
Bacon. 12.5 million pounds of bacon. Consumed, yes. Now, you said chips. Potato chips are 11.2 million pounds of chips, which, by the way,
It's a lot for chips.
I was going to say, I think chips probably means that's probably them up in the upper echelon of sales for sure.
Oh, yeah.
8 million pounds of tortilla chips, 10 million pounds of ribs, 21 million pounds of pizza. I thought pizza would have been more. I'm shocked that it's only in the 20 million pound range.
I thought it
okay.
would have been more.
Pretzels, 4 million pounds of pretzels consumed. So
And that's it.
there you go. Well,
That
that's
ain't
the top
too bad.
10.
What, I missed like 4?
I love that he just said
Celery.
lettuce, celery, lettuce.
I think the best thing about Super Bowls is everybody's like, oh, I got this dip that I make. Oh, and so like everybody should have like their little chip dip off.
I have a dip that I make.
I know you do.
It's a Texas caviar that is phenomenal, and it's a crowd hit. I might share the recipe with you. If you count
what did I tell you? Was I tell you I was supposed to make the other week meatball subs?
Oh yeah,
And I never did it. My wife distracted me. I'm so pissed off. I was looking forward to it.
Throw it on Whitney.
I was like, look.
You know what? Now that we mention it, I was supposed to make meatballs.
Now that you said it, you know what? I'm going to have my meatball subs
You and your brand new baby and your wife distracting you guys. Come on, man.
She knows Super Bowl's my time now.
That's good.
You either be quiet or you go to sleep. And that's how we watch our Super Bowl. It's our Super Bowl party. It's good.
Get some wings. Get you some meatball subs. All right. We'll take a break. We got more around the corner when we return. Eric Spyropoulos, he writes, he's a digital writer for NBA.com covering the Utah Jazz, of course. We're going to talk about this Utah Jazz team that is moving in a very, very positive direction, and yet also still coming up with some losses. But Yusuf Nurkic on a tear. 2 triple-doubles in a row. We'll talk to Eric next right here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
You know what's coming. Your daily deep dive into everything Utah Jazz. It's time. All season long and even in the offseason. It's Jazz Daily with JJ and Alex on your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome on back. It is JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry here, former NFLer, former Utah linebacker. Sly here with me to my right.
But I ain't tripping.
Filling in for JJ. We listen. The between segment stuff is always it's funny, it's fun, and most of it can't be shared on the radio.
No, it cannot.
Apologize, but it's
just know we're having a good time.
Yeah,
folks.
listen, this is how we get through it on Friday.
Yeah,
she had conference championship weekend in the NBA in the NBA in the NFL, but NBA of course just marches on, man. And we're just a couple weeks away from the trade deadline, which is always kind of interesting just to dip in and go, I wonder what this front office is going to do. I wonder how other front offices are going to screw it up across the way, too. I always love seeing how teams just get so desperate and do the weirdest things. And they're head scratchers, and I'll let them all have it. You know what I mean? Like, you guys can have that. You guys can have the crazy moves to try to get yourselves to a title. Fine. We'll just sit back here and develop.
It
problem.
It almost feels like they feel like they have to do something.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
No, you don't have to do it, but
yeah, we'll
like,
see.
The way they act is like they have to do it.
But we still kind of look and want to know what that's going to look like. Let's kick off
course.
the program here with the cut. We're going to get Eric Spyropoulos. He, of course, writes for NBA.com for the Utah Jazz. And we're going to get him right in with it with Eric. Let's do it.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Trajan Wealth brings you this portion of the program. TRAJAN Wealth for all your trusted local needs in retirement. Eric Spyropoulos joining us on the program. Eric, thanks for being with us, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, 46, 38.5, and 90. Key is getting so close to the magic numbers right there. But the jump in the numbers has been the thing that I think we've been all so impressed by this year. What is it that you watch on a nightly basis that you think to yourself, wow, he keeps getting so good? What's the thing that impresses you the most about how Keontae George has changed his game over this past year?
That's a great question because there's been so many areas of growth, like you just mentioned. I think the thing that stands out the most on a nightly basis is probably his finishing around the rim. The three-point shot has come around, but I think, when you watched him both in college and his first 2 years, you could at least kind of see that coming. It wasn't like anything was wrong with his jumper or anything, and it always looked pretty smooth. So I think the three-point shooting, while it has been great, and like him hitting pull-up threes, has been a huge weapon for the Jazz, it's the finishing at the basket. I mean, he is not afraid of challenging anybody. He had a couple of really nice finishes in that game the other night against Rudy Gobert and the Timberwolves. Mm-hmm. He, challenged Wemby throughout the season. I mean, he is shooting his best percentage at the rim, and he's not, an completely explosive athlete. He's not, an overpowering physical guard. But it's been, craft and then also just the work he's done on his body to be able to absorb that contact and finish through it. So three-point shooting's been great. The passing has been great. But I think, when you watch every game, I think that finishing around the basket is what stands out the most.
Man, now we're past the halfway point here of the season. What is your midseason grade report for Ace Bailey? Sorry, name just left me. What is your what have you seen from him in the promise? He had a great game, 25 points the other night. But has his development with Utah been good so far, or progressed as it's supposed to?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think so. Especially when you factor in just some of the challenges he's had to deal with, right? He got sick right before the season started, and so he missed a ton of practice time, and he kind of had that great preseason that just kind of was stopped to a halt because of that illness. And then he came back, found his rhythm. They were a really good set of games in November, and then he went out again with the hip injury. And so now he's starting to once again kind of get back into his rhythm, and you see a game like last night where he can put up 25, but it's not, Will Hardy talked about this after the game. It's not just him bombing away from three and getting hot that way, which people obviously would love to see, but it's him, he's cutting to the basket. He's rebounding. He can get into the mid-range. And then, of course, he can hit some of those threes. Like the variety in how he's able to score, I think has been pretty impressive when you factor in just the way that the Jazz play offense and that he's a rookie and he, hasn't filled out his frame yet. And then defensively, I think is a huge aspect of his season so far that might be flying a little bit under the radar. There's not going to be necessarily the huge blocks, the huge steal numbers, although there are from time to time. But I think it's just consistency on that end of the floor as a rookie, is pretty impressive. I mean, he has the size, he has the length, and he's been putting that, he's been putting that to work so far this season. So I think if you're looking at a grade for his development, when you're factoring in just kind of some of the challenges he's had to deal with, I think he'd probably definitely be in that kind of B+ A- range so far.
Nice.
I love listening to Will Hardy the day after games, or in the post games, and you get a mix because he'll be frustrated some nights and go, we need to get our butts back on defense. Like I don't care what's going on, but if you're not freaking playing hard, you're not going to be on this team. And then there are nights like last night where, they lose to the Spurs, but, I think people don't anticipate playing the second best team in the West and having a massive amount of success. You got some of your best players still kind of out, and you're still trying to figure some things out. And I think that Keontae and Bryce were made available like basically right before the game after being questionable. So I don't think anybody thought it was going to be some massive night for the Jazz, although they had beaten the Timberwolves the game before at home. But he was so positive about the direction that they're going. And he was just, it was one of the more positive moments I've seen from him at the podium to go, I'm just so glad to see the direction that we're in and the spot that we're in right now. What do you think that spot is? And what do you think the thing is that's impressing him so much right now with this group? They're winning some games, but, for the most part, they're all just developing out there.
Yeah, I think there's probably a few things that are kind of giving him that sense of confidence and just kind of excitement for the future. But I do think it's a kind of a collective I mean, he said this last night is, while each night there are individuals that he can and will shout out for their performance, he's most excited by just kind of how the group is playing together. I mean, offensively, they've had a pretty big jump over the past 2 months or so after a relatively slow start to the season. Obviously, Lowry Markkanen, Keontae George are the headliners on that end of the floor. But, Yusuf Nurkic has kind of established himself as a really good playmaking big that fits perfectly in the Jazz offense. And then there's just kind of the young guys around them. Like we just talked about Ace. Isaiah Collier can come off the bench and, against Minnesota had 18 points and 10 assists. Kyle Filipowski, Cody Williams has started to show flashes too in the starting lineup. I think when you're looking at the collective development rates of some of the guys in the rotation, but it all happening at the same time and not at the sacrifice of anyone else. Everyone's still just kind of buying into the way that Will and the team wants to play. And therefore, as a result, it's kind of this collective feeling of development as a unit that I think gives him the most excitement.
Yeah, I mean, for me, of course, Oklahoma City, San Antonio are kind of leading the pack in the West, but I still feel like there's not huge separation, right? I mean, there's still 6 games between 1 and 2, and even 1 and 4 is almost 7-8 games.
Oh, I just love it because like Oklahoma City's like, okay, yeah, we're the best, but the team they can't freaking figure it out against is San Antonio.
They can't, right? And so, my question is going to the ahead of the trade deadline here, right? We got All-Star break coming up. The midseason point is passed, but after the All-Star break is when things really intensify. What kind of things are we kind of anticipating here before the trade deadline happens in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, it could be, I think, almost anything. We could see maybe something as seismic as, Giannis getting traded, although he says he's never going to request a trade. Or you could look to some of those contenders that you mentioned trying to kind of shape up their roster or rotation if they kind of sense an opportunity. I mean, we've talked about the West just being kind of a bloodbath, but the East seems to be pretty wide open this season. Obviously, the Knicks have struggled as of late, but they expect to compete for a championship. I think the Pistons, they've been dominant in the regular season, but naturally, with a young squad that's not proven, people are going to have questions. Everyone expected Boston to kind of have this gap year, and they're sitting at second in the Eastern Conference. And then there's even teams like Toronto and Philly down, in the middle of the playoff standings that could maybe look around and say, hey, if we make this trade, if we try and get this piece, we could maybe make a surprise run to the conference finals. So it seems like one of the more potentially unpredictable trade deadline seasons in a while.
Of course, the week before, I think everybody's going to start going, what are the Jazz going to do next? Are they going to do nothing? Are they going to do something here? It seems like it's a lose-lose either way. Yeah. But, I look at these trade deadlines, and like I said when we were kind of coming in here, I enjoy watching other teams try to figure it out because some are getting to that desperation mode. Some are trying to make that late push. Some people get absolute steals on the trade market, and it becomes fascinating in that sense. But with this team currently set up the way that it is, are there people that you look at on this roster and you go, you know what, that guy's sometimes when guys are playing really, really well, that's like, oh, wait, hold on a minute. They might be valuable on the trade block. Are there some names that you see out there that could be possibly on that trade block for the Utah Jazz?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. It's one of those things that a team that's focused on player development is always, pretty much grappling with is, how do you treat veterans on your team? How do you value the impact that they've had on the young guys versus the potential for maybe, a second-round draft pick or some kind of draft asset to come back your way? I mean, we saw last year the Jazz made they were involved in a couple of deals. One of them was trading Patty Mills and Drew Eubanks to the Clippers for it was a couple, I think, 2 second-round picks, and then they were involved in a different deal and got another second-round pick. And by the end of the day, everyone was like, "What picks did they get? Who did they get them from?" Those things seem small on the surface, but when you're a team like the Jazz, for example, and we saw this in last year's draft, they wanted to trade up for Walter Clayton Jr., and they did that by using second-round picks to move up a couple of spots in the first round. So you might make some of these moves during the deadline that on the surface might not make the headlines on ESPN, but down the road that could be kind of somewhat important to a future move you want to make. So I think you're always kind of grappling with the value of the vets in terms of how they can help the young guys on the floor develop and obviously off the floor versus, trying to map out the future as you're trying to kind of build this team into the next stage.
speaking of veterans and leadership in that locker room, Yusuf Nurkic has been, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I think when he came in, there was some stuff that was hey, he might not be the best dude in the locker room type of a vibe and from other places where he had been. And now he and Kevin Love are going, hey, you young dudes, like, this is an awesome place for you to play and develop. Like, I don't know if you know how good you have it right now. There are other organizations that don't do this, and they've been impressed. And when those guys have been around the league a lot and they say those types of things, it means something. It should mean something to those young guys. But on top of all that, Nurk is having a heck of a run here, triple-doubles in the last couple of games. But I think more importantly, it just looks like he's playing his butt off, and that means something too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he is, there's some veterans that are, obviously give more value off the floor than on the floor at this point in their career. But Nurk has been really an essential part of the Jazz offense. And obviously, him becoming the team starting center and having this great run, came unfortunately as a result of Walker Kessler going down for the season. But, I mean, it's hard to ask for more from Yusuf Nurkic stepping into that starting center role. And, the Jazz, the way they play offense, they run a lot of off-ball at screens. They do a lot of cuts to the basket. They need a center and a big man who not only is physical in setting screens, but can also deliver those passes to those open teammates. And Nurkic does both of those things. And he's sometimes hitting threes. He's sometimes finishing around the rim. He's always going to rebound. And for a young Jazz team, Will Hardy mentioned this the other day, just his presence alone, being out there on the floor, settles down the young players around him. And you've heard guys like Keontae George and Ace Bailey talk about the impact he's had both on and off the court for the Jazz. So, I mean, it has surprised many, but he has really embraced his surroundings. He's embraced the Jazz organization, and the results have been, really impressive on the floor.
Eric Spyropoulos, he writes for NBA.com, of course, covering the Utah Jazz here in town, and he does a phenomenal job. Eric, we appreciate you joining us on the program. We're looking forward to the rest of this schedule here as the team heads out east and has a lot of games on the road. Those are always tough ones, those East Coast swings, but looking forward to it, man. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You bet. There you go. Yeah, they're going to be I had the schedule in front of me for a second. I was like, these guys are – I think it's going to be a lot of roadies for a minute here. Yeah, they'll go 4 in a row. Or no, let me see here. No, they'll be 4 in a row
at home.
They'll be 4 in a row at home, and then they'll head out to
5 on the road.
The Hawks. It's going to be Hawks, Pacers, Raptors, Magic, Heat. That's your 5 in a row that are going to be. That's a long one. That's a long trip. You start up in Toronto, you head down to Indiana, then you go to Atlanta, and then you head down to Florida to play both of those teams, and that's a long stretch right there. And then they'll have 2 more games at home before the All-Star break. So All-Star break also kind of coinciding with the Olympics, which I think is probably a good thing for NBA ratings.
For Jazz breaks.
Well,
you need it.
Absolutely. Oh, or watching Jackson Dart dance on the field. Was that before or after he made the call?
I think he had the celly when he went back to the sidelines. He called Ferrelli there.
I love Dabo Swinney calling out. Giants rookie Jackson Dart making phone calls to tamper with my guys.
He was just saying that Ole Miss is pulling out all the stops. I want you guys to investigate everything. Past players.
Okay, here's my question. Can Jackson Dart get in trouble for that?
He can't. I mean, what are they going to do to Jackson Dart?
I heard he took a sandwich from a booster.
Alongside his $1 million.
I wonder what Jackson Dart was making.
A grand slam from Denny's.
No, but you actually you'll have an NIL deal with Denny's, and you'll have a Grand Slam meal named after you.
Oh, gosh.
That's what it is nowadays.
The local Denny's.
The local Denny's and the Jackson Dart special.
Spruce up this NIL deals, folks. You guys got to get better. Village Inn, come on.
That's why I love my grits smothered covered at Waffle House. Oh, my goodness.
Come any hour.
We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We've got more around the corner. I'll tell you what we've got going on here. I've got a keyword to give out. Should we do it right now? Now is the time of day for you to be able to enter the keyword. You've been listening all day long, and maybe you've been hearing those keywords. You can put the keyword that you hear right now in at KSLSports.com/contest and give you a chance to win a 5-pack of tickets to the Jazz Warriors game coming up on January 28th. So here's what we're going to do. The keyword, this is a tough one, Jazz. There you go. Type it in, kslsports.com/contest. The more keywords you enter during all of our keyword contests, the more chances you have to win. So make sure you listen all day long. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll come back. We've got the NFL Blitz next. We're going to talk about this championship weekend in earnest. All right? Stay with us. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
All the latest news and notes from the league and the locals in the NFL. JJ and Alex bring you the NFL Blitz on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Ah, yes, you know what that music means, and it means more this weekend. Thanks to the NFL Conference Championships, Rams at Seahawks, Patriots at Broncos. I think it's kind of cool, the idea of, look, the Rams won a Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Didn't you guys win one that one time?
That one time?
The Rams won a Super Bowl. The Patriots and Seahawks firing it up again, like an old battle between two foes. Semi-recent history, of course, the last time they played one another in the Super Bowl. I don't want to talk about it. Marshawn Lynch had a great game.
Oh my god!
That's all I'm going to say.
Hey,
What a weird
goal line.
What a weird moment in NFL history.
Hey, it's his history. It'll always be there. Malcolm Butler will forever be at Disneyland.
Just jumping in front of that route. Jeez. All right, never mind. Flashbacks. Hey, by the way, the Bills need a head coach. This is the weirdest coaching search ever. Okay, so first of all, Mike McDaniel, who was fired as the Dolphins head coach, of course, and then was widely reported to be taking the OC job at the Chargers, has not officially taken the job at the Chargers. Instead, he's going to interview first at the Bills. But so is Phillip Rivers, whose current coaching job is, checks notes, at a North Carolina high school where all 10 of his kids play.
I was about to say, the 10 kids get to get on staff. Is that part of the NIL deal that you can negotiate?
I want to know.
My kids get on salary.
I want to know. Okay, could you imagine a more weird set of interviews between Mike McDaniel and
what have you been doing on South Beach the last 6 years, Mike?
And then Phillip Rivers comes in and goes, "What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Good to see you. Hey, Josh." Now, I say, "Hey, Josh," because the Bills say that Josh Allen is heavily involved in the interview process. I don't know how much I love that.
I don't know why you would do it. You fired Sean McDermott. I don't think that was Josh Allen is a part of that.
You have your weirdo.
Bills fans don't like it.
You have your weirdo owner who came out this week and embarrassed himself and the franchise. And yeah, Terry Pagula comes out and goes, "Oh, look, I saw him. He didn't even acknowledge me in the locker room, Josh Allen, when I told him that was a catch. He didn't even acknowledge me. Everybody was crying in the locker room, and I made the call right then and there that they should fire Sean McDermott." I'm like, you are the biggest weirdo, dude. Owners are so strange.
Yeah, they are weird. I mean, we talk about
Get
Baltimore
your hands
Ravens
out of
owner.
it, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That guy.
So it's just funky.
Would have lasted another week.
Phillip Rivers and Mike McDaniel. Like, again, I go back to the Kyle Whittingham thing. It's like, okay, when you look out there and you see the coaches that are available, are you getting a better coach? You know, if you go, hey, let this other guy go, let's bring something else in. What are you getting better out of Mike McDaniel or Phillip Rivers, who's never coached a freaking game in the NFL
Harbaugh,
at
Tomlin,
any level?
Somebody with some Super Bowl experience or deep playoff runs. What you're missing, right? Or what you're essentially fired him for, because Buffalo's been in the playoffs the last 4 or 5 years, is getting to that point. You've gotten AFC championships, but getting the Super Bowl. Why won't you invest in somebody that's been there or even won it, right? That should be your mainstay interest or what you think you could actually get. But what if you get worse? Your fan base is going to hate you.
Speaking of the Bills fan base, apparently there's a massive petition. Thousands have already signed to bring the coach back.
Hey, Bills Mafia stands strong.
But what a waste of time. First of all, again,
like it matters.
Again, the owner. The owner is going to be a problem because he's not going to allow it, right? I mean, come on. Such a weirdo, like I said.
Does it feel weird that they have to say that your quarterback is significantly involved?
Oh, I'm involved in the process. It's like, come on, man. No one cares.
Why do you have to say that?
Don't. Yeah, I don't want him involved in the process. Like, quarterbacks should not be making hires.
Yeah, what does a quarterback know about the defensive side of the ball?
Well, and what are you hiring?
Situational football.
And what are you hiring? Like, what are you doing with your GM and your VP of football operations and the guy who he elevated after they fired Sean McDermott?
Yeah, because what if
what's his point? What's the point of him?
Yeah,
Have Josh Allen to hire everybody. Why not?
Josh Allen really loves this guy, but your GM's like, it's not going to work on the other side. Whose side are you taking?
I can't stand it. Fine. I mean, I don't care how good of a player you are. They never let that guy come in and hire somebody. He could be out. He could be gone, a couple years later. And he hired your coach? That's weird. All right. Next up. So let's look at it here. The Seahawks, by the way, making some roster changes. They've activated George Holani and Elijah Arroyo for the NFC Championship title game. I remember last week when who's the basketball guy played at Utah? Every time he touched the ball, it was a touchdown. Tight end. Caleb Lohner. They activated him last week. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And then right before the game, they used a scratch. I don't know. The roster manipulation before NFL playoff games, I think some of it is a ruse. I think some of it is some smoke and mirrors. I think some of it is some games.
It's always that. I mean, you saw Kyle Whittingham do it, where he put the entire team on the injury report.
Yeah. That was fun.
That was hilarious. But people do games like it's a chess match. Everything matters in that injury report. You get it out at the very last second. You do this and that. What matters, what doesn't, man. And so you play games. You can have something where you're speculating something. You say a word in a press conference, it means absolutely nothing, but you're trying to get that team to divulge as much time and information into that little fact that you're not even going to use.
It's wild.
It's a chess match, man. It's crazy. Hopefully Lohner gets in and catches a touchdown. That'd be awesome. That was Stidham's half touchdown little prop bet there.
Oh, yeah, the half touchdown. Hey, Mom, I'm playing this weekend. I saw that, son. Saw they only got you down for a half a touchdown. Do better, kid. Like, we'll see.
I didn't raise a half a touchdown, kid.
I think that, I mean, you have to have set it at a half a touchdown because you're like, well, the guy's thrown no touchdowns the last 2.5 seasons. So what they say the last time he's even had an actual in-game stat was like with the Raiders in 2023.
And you want to count
and
your
I listen.
stats
I
with the
went through.
Raiders?
Okay, I listened to John Gruden today go off about, and what did he do? He gave the examples of the guys who took their team to the promised land as a backup. Okay, Frank Reich got him to the Super Bowl at least, right? And then I think Jim Kelly ended up playing in that Super Bowl. I don't think Jim Kelly did. But then he brings up Jeff Hostetler, of course, who won the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl for the Giants. But I was telling our producer, Alex Napolis, who was born, I don't know, a couple decades after that football game. That was the Scott Norwood. It wasn't that Jeff Hostetler won that game. The Giants scored 20 points. The Bills scored, 19? Was it 20? Was it 20 to 19 or 21 to 19? Norwood, wide right. That was what missed. That's what won the game for him. Either way, Hostetler got a Super Bowl win. Fine.
Hey, I'll take my win. If they want to give me that, I'm taking that.
But I think the most impressive one was after Carson Wentz went down for the Eagles. Nick Foles took over.
Yes.
Made a run through the playoffs. Didn't just make a run through the playoffs. Beat the GOAT in the Super Bowl.
Beat the GOAT.
Patriots fall.
Showed the GOAT how to catch a football.
Oh yeah. Philly special.
Philly special. You saw Patriots try to run that. That didn't work out.
Anytime Tom Brady's trying to run, I just picture his combine 40. I'm always like, I know he's lost some lbs. He's looking a little more sharp, but I don't care how dialed up your sharp jawline is. Those feet still don't move very well. Come on, Tom. All right.
Oh gosh.
All right. Thoughts on this one? Who's going to be in the Super Bowl after this weekend's all said and done?
I got the Rams. Sorry, I got the Rams and
well, why though?
Patriots.
Explain yourself.
Well, one divisional foes, right? You know each other, right? The last time that they met, the Seahawks barely won. Emotional win. Puka Nacua went off for 225 without Devontae Adams, right? Now you have Devontae Adams defensively. I know you're the number one scoring defense, but you got to worry about that. If the Rams defense comes up with what we know, Jared Verse and Fisk and Jared Fisk on that defense is absolutely terrific. If they get after
Matt
Sam
Stafford.
Darnold.
Oh, yeah.
If they get after Sam Darnold the way that the Chargers, was it the Chargers last year when Sam Darnold was with the Vikings in the playoffs first round?
It was the Rams.
It was the Rams?
Of course, our producer flies in.
If they get after him the way that they did last year and Sam Darnold has a crap of a game, you got nothing. I got the Rams in this one because I think that Matt Stafford is one of the top Hall of Fame quarterbacks at the end of it, and they're I don't think he'll get this close again. So they're gonna lay it all out on the line. I love Sean McVay. There's just too many positives for the Rams in the NFC for me. Seahawks are young. I like them. They're great, but I think this is time where you get a mix of young and great with the Rams, and I think they'll make it back to the Super Bowl because they play in San Francisco is the Super Bowl, another place that they're familiar with. There's just too many positives for the Rams. And then I got the Patriots on the other side, right? I'd love to see a miracle with Stidham just coming out and have the game of his life, but I just think the Patriots are of Vrabel's mentality, and they don't care about nothing. They are honey badger mentality. They don't care about nothing. Vrabel is locked in. He's got that team locked in. There are stars all over the place. The defense was playing great against Houston last week. I just give them the edge in this game.
Defense wins championships.
Yes.
Alex Napolis. Just remember that when your Rams score 9 points on 3 field goals.
Hey, man, if you still want me to talk crap for you, I still will.
Send me copy and paste over some good cusses that I can throw Napolis' way. I want a good combination, something that really throws him off. Something that his mom goes, hey, what are you reading over there? Mom, do not come over near my phone. You cannot read these words.
It's going to be something to question your friendship.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I want us borderline hating each other by the end of the weekend. All right. The Cowboys are apparently in the defensive coordinator market, and the Eagles' Christian Parker might be. Is he the guy then? Is he going to end up being the guy? They've reached an agreement with him. Is that what we're hearing? All right. Yeah, Christian Parker.
Interdivision coach.
I love it. I love it. It's just more drama, and look, hey, the Cowboys need it.
Brian Johnson needs to take that OC job at Houston.
Not that it's going to change anything, by the way, for the Cowboys, but yeah, you've got that, so we'll see.
Jerry Jones is still back there.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's your DC. They've had great defensive coordinators. They'll have an awesome offense and a great defense, and they can't make it to the playoffs. It's fine. Such is the life of a Cowboys fan. All right, we will take a break. We'll come back. Got our best and worst next. You don't want to miss it. Stay here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Wrapping up the hour with our picks for the best and worst moments on today's show. As JJ and Alex want to hear your best and worst of the day.
Hey everybody, thanks for being with us. Best and worst on the program right here. JJ and Alex. Sly, nice enough to fill in today on a beautiful Friday. Are you going to actually sit down and watch these football games this weekend?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like, is it the kind of thing where Whitney's like, he's in his own world, I'll kind of let him do his thing? Does she watch them with you?
I think she knows. No, she doesn't. I mean,
what? It's like asking me if my wife listens to the show. No,
oh,
absolutely
yeah, exactly.
not.
I know she didn't listen. That's why I talk smack. No, I think she like stays in the. No, there's times whether she's FaceTiming or whatever, but most times she knows that I want because I like give her this look if she like starts FaceTiming while the game's on. And then,
let her FaceTime, dude.
No.
You're watching your dang game.
I gotta listen to Chris Collinsworth talk about Patrick Mahomes while watching somebody else.
Did you see that clip? Who was it that he was talking about? It was Josh Allen, right?
Oh gosh.
And he's like, and watch what Mahomes does here. And the internet, who already has it in for him, yeah. If I'm him, I would do that every game.
Oh yeah.
And I would make it
to
even
rile people up.
I'd make it even defensive players. The guy gets an interception, and look at the interception Mahomes gets on that play, just to rile people up. The guy can't freaking shut up about it.
I'll
Mahomes,
definitely be watching this game. So I absolutely love it. AFC Championship weekend or Championship weekend is Conference Championship weekend is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
Great football nerds like you, me, and JJ. We just we love the strategy. Like when Cignetti called that timeout a national championship, I'm like, oh, that's a great timeout.
We all said it. We all were all
Right.
like, and I'm telling you, everything shifted because then it was like, settle down, relax. We know what they're going
Yes.
to do here. And they did. They knew exactly what was going on.
But that's
I don't know why Carson
That's
Beck
why
threw that
I
ball.
think that's what good head coaches make, right? Like
Yeah,
I mentioned, like Steve Kerr, Popovich. Those guys know how to use timeouts in certain situations to like another team is going on a run. Instead of letting a team continue on a run and hoping your team fights out of it, call a timeout, get recentered, right? And that's exactly what happened on that final drive. Miami was driving. They were doing some good things, run and pass. Carson Beck was getting his second win. Call timeout, chill out. Hey, we remember this in practice. You're at this point in the field. We do X, Y, Z. Boom. Interception, game over, national champion.
My 10-year-old called it. We were watching it. I go, how do you think this is going to end? And I said, I think I know how it's going to end. He goes, he's going to throw an interception right here. And I was like, I think you're right. I was like, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen.
Boom. And that's what happened. So I love championship weekend because of the little nuances and stuff that can happen, and then the lowly surprises. Like, is this going to be a traditional game where you got to be tight and get points every time, or are you going to take chances on fourth down? And so what's going to cost you at the end of the game? I love that stuff, and that's why conference championship weekend's great.
I'm loving it. Oh, best and worst. I got to get you these real quick. By the way, Fernando Mendoza, likely the number 1 overall pick. Looks like he's going to be entering the NFL draft. Now, were the reports about what's-his-name offering $39 million true?
That had to be fake.
That had to be fake. Because he got done saying you can't just throw money at the best players out there. That's not going to get it done. You've got to put together.
But if you got $1 billion,
team.
why don't you just do it just to make light of everything?
The rumor was that Cuban was putting up the $39 million guaranteed that the number 1 overall pick gets in the NFL.
Right.
No freaking way. And then the worst, of course, and this is only something that Alex Napolis and I would care about. The FIFA chief has admitted that the prices have gotten a little out of control on the World Cup. Just a little. Tickets to the final, by the way, are averaging $16,000 per ticket. You can get into to MetLife Stadium, it looks like, for about $9,000. You'll be able to walk in. But the average ticket is surpassing Super Bowl prices by about 50%. Right now, I mean, we're talking about we're months and months and months away still. So people bought those tickets. They immediately went to the secondary market. It's gone crazy. And now people are like, I guess this everyman's World Cup that we were going to have here with 48 nations is not going to be for hardly anybody.
Well, good for the Foxborough community. Oh.
Well, here's what's going to happen, too. These other games are going to be happening, and there's 48 teams that are involved in the tournament this year. It's 16 more than they have had historically. And people aren't going to be able to go see their teams. Like, that's going to be the reality of it. You can't go see your teams because, I mean, this happened to F1, by the way. People are just showing up at F1 stuff and being like, heard this is a cool thing that I'm supposed to go to. That's what's going to happen with the World Cup. All right. Take a break. We'll come back. More next hour. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.